Welcome back, Focus Learners. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here today because, honestly, this explainer is essentially a premium masterclass on reclaiming your time and taking back control of your own mind. I mean, if you've ever felt like your attention span is just shrinking by the day, you are definitely not alone. Our attention is, quite literally, broken right now. But the good news? Today we're going to fix it using direct insights from some of the best minds in productivity and neuroscience. So, let's just jump right in.
Let's kick things off with a number that should be a major wake-up call for all of us: 40%. Studies actually show that constant task switching destroys up to 40% of our productive time. Just think about that for a second. Almost half of your entire output is just lost simply because you flip from studying or working to checking a quick email to glancing at a text. So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this: you don't necessarily have a focus problem, you have a setup problem.
So I want to challenge you right now. How long can you actually sit and read a book without getting up or instinctively reaching for your phone? Grab a book today and actually time yourself. Daniel Pink suggests using this as your baseline. And look, if it's only a few minutes, do not judge yourself. Seriously, I want to ease your guilt right now. You are operating in an environment that is entirely rigged against you, which is exactly why we need a system.
Okay, so here's our reclamation roadmap for today. We'll start by unpacking the digital attention crisis, then move into designing a distraction-free zone, master your focus rituals, look at the science of strategic breaks, and finally, connect focus to meaning.
All right, Section 1, the digital attention crisis. You are fighting a rigged environment.
Now, this completely reframes our guilt. As Dr. Cal Newport points out, the internet itself isn't actually the problem here. The real problem, it's specific apps designed by billion-dollar companies with the absolute sole purpose of hijacking your attention. Newport himself actually intentionally limits his tech use, and by eliminating these engineered distractions, he maintains his absolute superpower of doing 4.5 hours of high-quality, deep work every single day.
Because, you see, this isn't just a bad habit, it's a moderate behavioral addiction. Dr. Andrew Huberman notes that these apps use highly engineered feedback loops and carefully selected colors to trigger your dopamine system. It's exactly like a gambler craving the feeling of the casino chips. A student actually once told Huberman when his phone dies, he feels a physical drain, and when it turns back on, he feels a literal lift in his body. That phantom phone drain? Yeah, that is the discomfort of actual addiction.
Moving on to Section 2, designing a distraction-free zone. It's time to shift from willpower to systems.
Listen, we have to stop relying on motivation. Motivation is just a temporary feeling, right? It's easily drained and super unreliable. Instead, you need discipline and systems. Medical student and productivity expert Anuj Pachel had a massive paradigm shift here. He realized that if you build a habit through discipline, it completely removes daily decision-making. Your mind just naturally rearranges time to make the work happen, without friction, making it as natural and automatic as brushing your teeth.
So how do we actually build these systems? Well, here are 3 concrete ways to add environmental friction to your life. First, move addictive apps to the last screen, or better yet, just delete them. Second, start using digital app blockers like Forest or Freedom. And third, put your phone in another room, or hey, even in the fridge. I mean, Dr. Huberman literally used to give his phone to his lab staff and tell them, if I ask for this back before 5 p.m., I will give you a $100 bill. And guess what? He never had to pay up, and his productivity absolutely skyrocketed.
This friction also has to carry over into your digital space with the one-tab rule. You have got to close all 27 tabs you probably have open right now. Keep only the single page you are actively studying on the screen. Remember that 40% productivity loss we talked about earlier? That right there is the neuronal cost of task switching. Seriously, pretend the only page on the entire internet is the one you are studying.
Okay, Section 3, mastering your focus rituals. Let's look at the mechanics of deep work.
Attention is not a light switch you just flick on. It's something that must be intentionally trained. Daniel Pink advises us to treat attention exactly like a muscle. So you take that baseline reading time we established at the beginning, you start small without judging yourself, and you progressively overload your focus muscle over time.
Now, to get into that state, you need starting cues. You could light a specific candle, put on a dedicated playlist, or sit in a specific chair. Honestly, it doesn't matter what the ritual is. What matters is the consistency. These cues act like hitting play on a soundtrack your brain already knows. It tells your mind to stop wandering and enter a state of tunnel vision. And always, always set a ruthlessly specific goal. Don't just say, I'm going to study. Say, I'm going to finish Chapter 3 by 5 p.m. You have to give your brain a clear finish line.
Because when you set up these psychological barricades and work with a clear objective, medical student Anuj Paschal says it'll be like chopping wood with a very sharp axe rather than an unsharp one. That right there is the massive, game-changing efficiency of deep, tunnel vision work.
Which brings us to Section 4, the science of strategic breaks. We need to start reframing rest as performance fuel.
Look, the human brain is simply not designed to push for 12 straight hours. It just isn't. Instead, try utilizing the 52-17 rule to match your brain's natural ultradian rhythms. That's 52 minutes of intense focus, followed by exactly 17 minutes of absolute rest. And listen carefully to this part. That 17-minute break must be guilt-free and completely analog. Stretch, breathe, go for a walk. Do not, I repeat, do not use this time to doom scroll or you're going to completely ruin the recovery.
Daniel Pink has this humorous but honestly incredibly accurate analogy for this. He says to think of your brain like a toddler. It literally melts down if you don't give it snacks and naps. Ignoring your need for breaks doesn't make you heroic, it just makes you cranky and unproductive. And smart fueling is non-negotiable here. Keep water nearby to avoid dehydration fatigue and snack on things like nuts, dark chocolate, and blueberries to keep that toddler brain happy and totally focused.
All right, our final stretch. Section 5. Connecting focus to meaning. Because without a why, all these systems will fail.
Before you start anything, you really need to ask yourself, why does this matter and who actually benefits from it? If we zoom out to the macro perspective for a second, all these micro habits we just talked about, they will completely collapse if the work feels meaningless to you. But when you connect your attention to true meaning and purpose, doing the hard work stops being a chore. It actually becomes a choice.
So how do we put that meaning into action? Well, first, define your short-term and long-term goals so you know exactly where you're heading. Keep a daily logbook of your progress. Anuj points out that reviewing this actually does justice to the past version of yourself that worked so incredibly hard to get you here. Type out your purpose and visually post it right on your wall like Daniel Pink does. And finally, allow yourself dedicated, completely distracted rest days like taking Sundays totally off, just to break the monotony and prevent burnout.
Okay, let's bring the whole shebang together. Here is your ultimate toolkit, the reclamation rules. 1. Establish your focus baseline and train it like a muscle. 2. Enforce the one-tab-only rule. 3. Add extreme friction. Yes, literally put that phone in the fridge if you have to. 4. Utilize the 52-17 rhythm to rest as hard as you work. And 5. Connect your focus to a larger purpose. I highly urge you to take a screenshot of this slide right now and start implementing these rules today.
And I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you going to let algorithms dictate your life, or will you choose to reclaim it? Remember, your attention is your life, and life is definitely not meant to be lived in 15-second increments. Take back your time. I want you to leave a comment below telling me exactly which friction technique you're going to try first. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and I will see you in the next one.